ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bubble Ninja 720, and I'm here with my good friend, the
St-
illustrious.
Steps basic.
And today we're about to bring you another Babbling Beards.
Hoorah. I got lotion in my beard today. Or not lotion, oil.
Uh,
I got oil in my
uh,
beard today. It smells lemony.
I shaved mine, so I've got sandpaper.
Babbling scruff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some of that Philip
Today,
DeFranco oil.
uh,
Anyway,
today we're going to continue our love triangle podcast from last time.
today we're going to continue our love triangle discussion.
Take that out of context.
Hoorah. Yeah, so are you cool with that thing I was talking about earlier with that little bit of a spoiler thing?
Yeah, go for it.
So you remember last month when I was talking about the Final Fantasy VII love triangle with
Might want to refresh us.
with Punchy McGee and Miss Staff Lady. They were I had it and then it was gone again.
Tifa and Aerith.
Tifa and Aerith, yes. Tifa and Aerith. I had Tifa and then she ran away again. But no, in the remake, just a quick minor little spoiler. You remember the part with Don Corneo when he dumps you in the
Yeah.
sewers?
Uh-huh.
Well, in this case, in the remake, they literally present it as a triangle. Like they have
Oh, they
Cloud,
do.
have Cloud standing in the middle, looking at the two ladies laying on the ground, literally diagonally from him. And I'm like, dude, they literally made a triangle. But anyway, that was kind of a little bit of an update since the last time we talked because now I've played past a lot more of the story now, and it's been oh my god, it's been so good. Uh, I'm gonna do a full synopsis of the game once I'm done with it. So
Nice.
yeah, comparing, contrasting,
Mm,
whether or not I like it better, etc., etc. But anyway, love
nice.
triangles. Why do they work? How are they made of angles when there's just three people with no lines connecting? Why, it's love that connects us all. And I said it
All
without
right.
forgetting words. Anyway,
There you go. You want me to go ahead and kick it up?
yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
All right. Which category should we do? We want to do a video game one. We want to do a contemporary movie, or do you want to do like an animation one?
Ooh, let's go contemporary movie. That sounds interesting.
All right. Let's go with the original Jack, Rose, and Cal.
Oh, yeah, that one was an interesting one. Titanic, right?
Yes, that's major tearjerker. Which, by the way, I did squeeze some tears out on that one.
I was gonna make a lewd comment, but yeah, that one was a heartbreaker there. Man, watching her at the end with the um the
The
stone,
pendant.
yeah, chucking herself into the ocean like that, or chucking it in the ocean, or whichever happened, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Something ended
she
up in the
chucked it
ocean.
into the ocean.
Yeah, something ended up in the ocean, and
She claimed it was stuck on the ship and they couldn't find it. And
right,
then she
right.
was like, "Oh well," man. So she just like, "Oops,"
Oops, here you go, Jack.
and then she dies in peaceful sleep. I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Yeah, we'll never find the heart again. Yeah, man.
I'm pretty sure they could find it. I mean, all they had to do is use sonar again right afterwards, and done.
Yep. That love triangle was oof. Definitely by definition a love triangle, but I feel it it
It was a
stopped
very
going.
acute triangle.
Yes, it stopped going in certain ways after a certain degree. That stupid cow
Yeah.
man, real hero. That fool, real hero.
hmm Well, you could also go and say that Rose was kind of a pain in the tail too, because she could have had Jack on the raft with her or the
Mm-hmm.
flotsam with her, and he would have survived.
Yeah. It's like, no, I'll never let you go, Jack. Shove.
Yeah. Well, first she had to break him off of it because he was frozen to it, so you
Yeah.
had to hear like the crunching noises as she was separating his hands from the
Yeah.
wood.
Yum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and scratch that one off so I don't accidentally double tap.
yeah, we don't want to talk about Jack and Cal. Ugh. That whole thing, the whole part with him picking the kid up and being like, "Yeah, this is my kid. I have to make sure that she's safe." Thing. I'm like, "Oh, you are a royal scumbag, sir."
Yeah. Alright. Let's go with another game one.
Yeah.
Let's go with one that happened not too long ago. Well, in a remake of it.
Oh.
We're gonna go do Vincent, Catherine, and Catherine.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that one very well because unfortunately I never played that.
Well, I'll do spoilers for it. I've read it and I actually watched PewDiePie play it, the
As like,
original.
it's like the extent of my knowledge of it is isn't Catherine and Catherine the same person,
No,
but not the same person? No.
Catherine with a K is Vincent's fiance.
Uh,
Catherine with the C is a succubus.
Gross. Yeah, for some reason I
Yeah.
was thinking that was a something about multiple personalities or something like that.
No, actually, what happens is Vincent's a layabout. He's basically super lazy,
Hmm.
and he just wants the simple life. He doesn't want. I don't think he really wants to get married, and he definitely doesn't want kids.
Huh, rude.
But then he finds out that his fiancee is pregnant in the middle of everything,
Uh oh.
and it, the other Catherine is pretty much a an enforcer for, I guess, like you'd say, the devil kind of thing.
Hmm.
And basically, it all boils down to wanting to, basically, the devil trying to maximize the potential couples.
Hmm.
Basically, he sees that Vincent is not good enough for Catherine, so he's trying to kill him to get her available for an actual man that's basically on par with her.
Which Catherine? The evil Catherine?
Catherine with a K,
Gotcha.
the fiance.
So that's where he sends C Catherine in.
Yeah. And then apparently in the remake, there's a third character, a third female. I don't even remember her name, but it's not a Catherine. But her name begins with a Q, I think, is or something like that.
Catherine.
No, there was a joke about that, but no. That's the whole premise of the game. And
Interesting.
it's like one big puzzle game, and you could choose to be as faithful as possible, but Catherine always like destroys your credibility.
Rude.
Yeah,
That'd be a very confusing game to play.
yeah.
Catherine versus Catherine. Who will
Well,
win?
they have extremely different personalities.
That's good. Yeah, and the C versus the K makes it a little easier, but
Yeah,
it's like you
they
describing it.
also look
Yeah, okay.
drastically different too.
Well, that's good. Isn't one of them like white hair or something like that?
Now, one's blonde with like corkscrew pigtails, and then the other one's a long brown hair.
Oh, wow, I really don't know anything about that game, do I?
They remastered it or and stuff, and they brought it out earlier, like I say a couple months ago, actually. I think maybe October, September
Oh,
of
yeah,
2019 they brought it out.
I remember seeing it coming around, but and you were talking about it at one point too, but I was like, I don't know what that
Yeah,
game is.
I was thinking about picking it up just to play it for the channel, but I was like, 60, $70 for the game. I don't think so.
Oh yeah, for a remake? Ugh, no, thank you.
I mean, if they added more content and stuff, yeah, but the gameplay is not really my style. It's basically a bunch of puzzles, and then you got cutscenes where you make decisions in between,
Uh,
and then the video plays out, and then it's like, eh. And then actually, like, I'm more RPG or actiony,
yeah, so it'd be more like
not
a visual
puzzly.
novel. More like
Yeah.
a
Well, no,
visual
it's not
novel.
really a visual novel. It's mostly like it's climbing platforming puzzle, and I'm
Huh,
not a platforming puzzle kind of person. Which,
huh.
by the way, I hope your platforming skills are on point when you go to play Doom Eternal, because you're going to be doing like mid-air platforming with like platforms that collapse after you touch them and stuff like that.
Rude. I
And
think
you're
I
gonna
could.
have to like grapple on these in like midair and hang on them, and sometimes you have to ride them down to a certain height before you jump off and get to the next platform, all that jazz.
Oy. I do all right at platformer stuff. Um,
It's got me really aggravated.
yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out. Apparently, I keep goofing whenever there's like the a vaulting pole and you have to vault off of it. It's either sometimes I misjudge it and I'm coming too low and Doomguy doesn't touch it, slash like vault off of it, so I plummet, or I just don't know where I'm going and I end up just vaulting into the abyss
Oy.
because I'm just like, I don't know where my next platforming area is at.
Well,
I
that
spend a
sounds.
lot of time looking around the map too, because I'm like, okay, there's that where I'm supposed to go, and then there's that, and it's like, well, where's the third spot? I keep forgetting you can cling to certain surfaces.
Ah, like a magnet.
Yeah, you tap oh, I don't know what it is for computer, but for PlayStation you got to press R3, and when you do, you if you're close to the wall, you'll basically like snack onto the wall.
Gotcha. That's not bad. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I've actually been thinking
and
about
you can
picking up
hit.
a.
Yeah. Uh,
I've actually been thinking about picking up a an Xbox controller for my PC.
that could work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
I'm using Xbox external hard drives for both my PS4 and my PC.
Yee. But it does. Steam doesn't like PlayStation controllers as much.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Um, let's go with anime.
Ooh, anime.
Um, are you a? Had you ever watched Sword Art online?
A little bit of it, not a lot, not a lot though.
All right, well, we got season two. They brought up. Well, it's kind of like a harem thing
Uh huh.
to begin with. But in season two, they kind of bring a triangle up, and it's Kirito, Asuna, and then Kirito's, I'm gonna say adoptive sister.
Uh huh.
I don't remember how it goes, or she's like a distant cousin relative, and her name's Suguha.
Hmm. Interesting. That actually puts
But
me in mind of
mhm.
one that reminds me of one that I can talk about when we're done with this one.
Well, I'm gonna say this is not really incestuous, is that she didn't know that Kirito was Kirito, and he didn't know that Suguha was Suguha. Because they were in their game personas when they like. Well, when she kind of
Ah,
had the hots for him,
gotcha.
he really didn't see her as anything more than a friend. So
Well, that's good at least.
it's heavily one-sided,
Oof. Oh no.
and that
Oh,
one does kind of a little bit of cause a little bit of friction between the two family members,
yeah, I believe
but
it.
they get over it.
That's good. I mean, anime. Good guys can't stay mad at each other for long.
Yeah, and then of course, he gets reunited with his actual love. So I heard that one gets a little dark later on, though.
Yeah,
I
my.
heard main boy he gets amnesia
Oh no.
and he gets stuck in the game again with amnesia. And then I also heard at one point I think he dies.
Oh no.
Yeah, like dies, like no coming back die.
Oof.
There ain't no Superman return on that one. What were you gonna say?
Uh, I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
that's all right. I actually, I was, I thought of a love triangle when you mentioned anime. Um, it's actually a somewhat newer one. Oh,
With that,
I remember what I was going to say. Williams watched that, so he could tell me about it. But
he likes
Williams,
sword art.
yeah, William watched Sword Art Online.
It's a divisive subject. It's either people like it or people are pissed off at it. And usually people are pissed off at it because they say it's a ripoff of Dot Hack.
Ah, I mean, using the same premise, somewhat video game, but
I think it's similar.
yeah. wouldn't be the only game that, or only a show that's done video game stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, the
Um,
dot hack is really good, and I wish I could play the games on PS4.
yeah, Dot Hack was fun. Dot .gu is on PS4.
I know that. I just didn't buy it.
Yeah,
I want to play them in order, and that means I gotta play like, infection, outbreak,
yeah,
mutation, and quarantine.
yeah, yeah.
And you gotta play those in order because they play off of each other as a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Like carry your choices and everything over.
Yeah. The only one I played fully through was Dot Hack Sign from PS2. I think it was PS2 era
Hmm.
because that was back when
Yeah,
I.
the four games that I mentioned were on PS2 as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
because I.
never got past infection ever. They didn't have outbreak.
Ah, whoa, that hurt. Ow. So the one I thought of while we were mentioning
Hmm.
anime, it's a Netflix original series. Not sure if you've seen it yet or not. Seven Deadly Sins.
No, not yet.
We got Diana, Meliodas, and Elizabeth.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead and lay it on us.
Well, Elizabeth is the princess. Meliodas is the leader of the Seven Deadly Sins and super powerful dude. Um, Avoiding too many spoilers, he's just super powerful, and he's also a Master Roshi style horn dog. And then there's
That's funny. Gotta
Diana.
have those all the time.
Yeah. Then there's Diana. Technically, this one's almost a freaking square. And then there's
Uh,
Diana, who was in love with Meliodas. She's a giant, and
oh wow.
yeah, Meliodas looks like a kid, so makes things even weirder.
Yeah, super weird.
And so it's like Diana's in love with Meliodas, who is in love with Elizabeth, who is a descendant, a reincarnation of a love he had at one point, long, long time ago.
Hmm.
And then the king of the fairies is in love with Diana, so there's that too.
Well, that's just like a love web.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's only four of them, and they're all connected at angles. It's like at least King's not in love with freaking Elizabeth too, because that'd be terrible. It's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, leave her alone. Although,
This is a heads up, buddy. Your voice is starting to sound kind of robotic.
oh no, don't do this to me,
Yeah.
voice.
It's like, oh no.
Oh no.
I think it's starting to fix now.
That's good. Might have just been a slight hiccup in the internet thing.
Nope, never mind. It's still periodically going
What?
robot.
That's not
It
good.
sounds like you're running your voice through a synthesizer a little bit, slash slight breakup, but I can understand what you're saying.
That's good at least. Yeah, I've noticed I'm having a bit of an issue with doing things on the game. I click the button and then about a second later, it actually reacts.
Yeah, I had that initially too, but it kind of fixed itself.
Yeah. Oof, that's unfortunate. But anyway, the Diana Meliodas King thing fixed itself in later episodes when Diana realized that King loved her.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. And that was good. It was good to see it resolved because Meliodas and Elizabeth were destined to be together. So,
Mm, one of those, huh?
yeah. And despite his perviness, it is kind of a sweet relationship. If you
That's
could,
good.
if you could look past the perviness.
All right, let's get into. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the next three are related in a way in terms of they're from the same content.
Ah.
So the first one we're gonna do, we'll do it in order. Uh, First one will be Jill, Chris, and Carlos.
Oh, yeah. The partners.
Yeah, of course, I'm talking about Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, and
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of insinuated in the remake, you know, they had he was always playfully bantering, but she gave him like some really nasty cold shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
That was that one kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Like I know she's supposed to initially be
Yeah.
like hard ass towards him because he's UBCS, but
Mm-hmm.
once he starts helping out a little bit, I mean, at the point where she saw that they were trying to evacuate people on the subway. She should have completely 180'd and had been nice to them.
Yeah. Well, she did kind of move on with him, but it's like the rest of the UBCS, she was like, ugh.
It Well, Mikhail, she was kind of nice too,
Yeah, I
and
mean, he did
and
sacrifice himself for her.
Tyrell as well. But he also did. Well, he didn't really sacrifice. Nemesis just targeted him.
Yeah. Not so much a sacrifice, he just slowed Nemesis down a little bit by getting eaten.
Yeah. But
Like,
anyways, they had the beginning off like Jill and Chris. They survived the initial thing, like the Spencer estate,
mm-hmm.
and there's like it's insinuated that they like each other in both
Mm-hmm.
comic book and also video games.
Yeah.
And then of course Carlos rolls around in Resident Evil 3, and then it's like, oh well, he has the hots for her too, and she kind of like plays back, kind of flirty.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like there's no definitive resolution for that one at all, or any of these. That's actually,
Yeah, no.
which is kind of sad.
Yeah, they got the closest I'd seen to any sort of resolution for a Resident Evil one was freaking uh, Pretty Boy and Claire.
What do you
And
mean, Leon and Claire?
yeah,
No, there was no resolution for that one.
kinda.
Were you talking about the resolution there?
Them walking out
Are
of
you
the
talking about
city
the
together.
remake?
Yeah. Them walking out of the city together and be like, oh, yeah. Oh, how about that date?
That was the next one I was going to talk about. But with that one, the remake, they don't technically say anything about them being together. It was
Yeah.
just they just laugh at the idea that they had literally just met hours before,
Mm-hmm.
which would be minutes before they had their nightmare run through Raccoon. And it was Sherry that was like, "Hey, you guys can adopt me," kind of thing. So she was kind of like force feeding their relationship.
But you saw the bedroom eyes. They were there. This game just ate
Well,
two of my brick boxes
yeah,
blocks.
the third point to that love triangle would be Ada,
Yeah.
which we know is alive because she, tossed Leon the rocket launcher.
Mm-hmm. And she's Ada.
Yeah, she's gonna be back in the next one, folks, because you know that they're remaking four, which I still can't believe they're doing that. They need to do 0, 1, and Code Veronica.
Yes. Definitely zero because I never finished playing that one.
Well, I like to play my games in chronological order, and it's giving me major eye ticks because it's like, start with two. There's two before it.
Come on, game. Give me the one I
It was
want.
bad enough that by the time I was recording two, three came out, so I had to put two on hiatus, and then I'm going to be heading back to it. I finally finished three.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of saves me considering three starts about, what was it, like right, it starts before two and then it ends after two.
Yeah, it's a big old wraparound.
But yeah, I'm gonna say that with the whole Claire Ada Leon,
Mm-hmm.
Leon kind of has the heavy-handed hots for Ada more than Claire.
Yeah.
Claire is more of like, oh, she's good to hang around with because she's nice and hangs around you, whereas Ada is just like the mysterious secret agent.
Mm-hmm.
That's love you and leave them kind of thing.
She's the Miss
Female James
Ditty.
Bond.
Yeah, she's the mysterious and sexy one. Give me the girl next door.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly, I would have chosen Claire over Ada anyways,
Yeah,
but
she's much more reliable.
yeah, no secrets either.
Hmm. Of course, you know, there's the whole issue with Chris being an overprotective brother.
If you read the books, the little short paperbacks that
Uh
they made, I think it was like S.D. Perry
huh.
and Richard Knack, I think wrote a couple.
Mm.
But anyways, there's actually a short thing about it where I think it's in the Code Veronica book
Uh huh.
where they find out where Claire's at, and Chris is like, I immediately got to go there to save my sister, and Leon's like, I'm going too. And Chris is already thinking, like, how close did these two get together? And then he was like, well, he is a good kid, even though, he's only a couple years younger than me. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
I think I could just let this see how this unravels kind of thing.
that's nice. Just hopefully she
Yeah.
never complains, because then you'll have big old Chris and his man mountain of meat coming at you.
Yeah, punching boulders and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually think that they were gonna, those two are probably gonna end up together. They even in the animated videos, what was it, Degeneration and
Hmm.
well, yeah, Degeneration. It kind of insinuates that they like each other, but then
Yeah.
it's like they got to go their separate ways, kind of thing. They
Hmm.
can't be together,
Yeah.
or their lives are too separate.
It's always something with these
Yeah.
kids and their separate lives.
And then, of course, in the next animated one, they toss Ada back in, Leon.
Yeah. Ah.
All right. And then the third one would be Claire, Leon, and Steve Burnside.
Does Steve count as a romantic option? I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't know how much of a connection there was there.
Well, he was in Code Veronica, and
Yeah, there
you
was.
could say it because, well, it's a love triangle in that he has the hots for Claire.
Ah, yeah.
It's not necessarily that she likes him back.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be reciprocated for there to be something.
No, it could be unrequited.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a hopeless romantic. I know what that's like.
Yeah, Steve's from Code Veronica,
Yep.
and he's one of the
X.
prisoners that Claire ends up finding.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an immature, whiny, sniveling brat that really likes shooting zombies. And then he
Mm,
kind of grows up a little bit. And then he gets turned into a big bad monster by um, Veronica, and then he dies. So that resolves at least that end.
yeah.
Then you just got to deal with the whole Ada loose string.
Mm-hmm. Then Claire accidentally shoots Ada in the face, and Ada is dead. Then her and Leon can be together forever and happy.
Or was it that stray landmine or
Oh yeah,
that remote mine that I fired off?
Jill took out Ada for you.
I
That's
can't believe I did that. Which was the funny thing was about that. That was a scripted move on Nemesis's part. It wasn't him dodging my attack. It was just him moving.
yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
after I saw, I think it was your playthrough. I think you started shooting at him like that, or was it Mark? It was either you, Mark, or Jack. You were watching him, and he would stand there on the side, and he would run up to the top, and I was like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
not too angry at myself now.
I
That was
definitely,
literally a timing error.
yeah, I definitely watched him, because I didn't have any mine rounds. So every time he ran up to the side of the building, I was like, "Get down here!"
Yeah,
Then she's like, "I can't reach him from here." Well, you're using
yeah.
guns, so yes, you can.
Well,
Oh,
the thing about it is well, my favorite was I think it was Mark, and he started firing the shotgun at him. I'm like, Jesus, Mark,
yeah. I
mid
mean,
range at farthest, mid range. You're not shooting slugs.
there's things that I do on occasions where I will shoot long range with a shotgun, but I will never shoot up to the tower, on top of a tower with a shotgun.
Now, I'm gonna say this: if y'all are watching my Doom Eternal playthrough, I use habitual shotgun. Like it's pretty much my pistol in that game. But My long range shooting is sticky bombs. I'm not, well, really firing regular shotgun shots at long range. If I am, it's because I'm kind of not thinking at the time. But for the most part, my long range is firing the bombs. And those things are fun, especially when you get them upgraded.
That could be a good topic for another video at another time. Is consistency of weapons across games.
Yeah, I was Resident Evil 3 was a mixed bag for me with their weapons.
Yeah.
It felt like the handgun got better with the initial once you got the upgrades, of course. But even before the upgrades, it seemed kind of good. Like it sounded like a real handgun.
Hmm.
It didn't sound like you were firing a pea shooter. It felt a little bit powerful. I didn't really see too many criticals, well, in terms of like head popping or
Yeah.
limb breaking
Same here.
compared to two. But I just felt like I didn't really need to worry about it because ammo was more plentiful.
Hmm.
It was in a dire need that I had to take a zombie down in 2 to 3 shots. Although in the beginning it was kind of needed because you're just getting started, so they kind of squeeze you for the resources early on.
Hmm.
Um, Shotgun, that one was. I was upset with that one for Resident Evil 3. Felt really good in 2 because got close up and blow the head off. But in 3, I noticed a lot of my point blank shots weren't blowing like chunks off. It was just like peppering them and then they'd fall over dead. And I'm like, well, I don't know if you died for real,
Yeah.
considering these guys don't twitch the moment you poke them or shoot them. That was smart. That was ingenious. That actually got me like really thinking like, oh crap.
I
Um,
I did miss
but yeah,
the blowing chunks off in
mm,
part.
yeah. Well, we'll save that for another time though.
Yeah.
Like you said. Um, All right, so Claire, Leon, and Steve. That one's done. Um, let's do another biggie in terms of the movie genres, and we'll do Jacob, Bella, and Edward.
Ah, this is a classic one, or I wouldn't say a classic one, but this is a very well known one.
Yeah, Twilight,
Hmm.
which is topical considering another book came out.
Another Twilight one,
Yeah, this one is a remake of the original, told in Edward's point of view.
told in the milkman's point of view.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I call it Disco Ball.
I mean, milkman is in there milking it for money.
Oh yeah, true. Not just because he's pale as milk.
Yeah. Although that works too, but yeah, I'm definitely with the disco ball aspect.
Have you heard about the new morbid fan theory they've got going out about that love triangle?
No, it was
Is it the reason why Jacob fell in love with Bella is because of Renesmee? It was an egg in Bella at the time.
well, that's weird.
Yeah, that's taking it a little too far. And then people were like, well, he'd have to have a soft spot for Edward too, considering that she's a half of each parent.
Hmm.
And then their answer was, well, he wasn't actively trying to kill Edward.
Well,
I was
because he
like,
was
oh God.
forbidden. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah.
Yeah, that one kind of gave me like a kind of. I
Yeah.
like fan theories, but that one was a little too far.
A little too. No, I don't want to touch that one.
Yeah, pretty, but not even with a 10-foot pole.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that
but yeah,
relation, that triangle though. Oh, it was just a mess. It's like
yeah, it was.
talk about not even just factoring in the age differences between the characters.
Yeah, that's a wreck face right there too.
But like,
Wasn't Jacob a couple years younger than Bella, anyways?
yeah, I think he was like 15, something like that. From it's been a while since I read the
Her
books.
18.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so he was still technically a minor.
hmm and you know, Edward himself being
Over 100.
you know
Yeah.
pretty ancient, and
and not looking a day over 18.
And of course, they didn't help themselves out at all when they did the whole imprinting with Renesmee thing,
Yeah,
which I still think is one of the stupidest names I've ever read.
yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, factoring out their ages, which was a mess. I mean, I can kind of see at least an age difference of 3 years. Like 14 to 17, 13 to
mm,
16. I'm still kind of leery about it, but I don't like it. But kids will be kids, and then you're like, stop it. But
yeah,
factoring all that out, just the emotional baggage, the emotional abuse, emotional abuse between
yeah.
the characters.
Yibbies.
It's just like
Yeah.
none of those characters deserved each other, or they deserved each other
Technic,
just as much.
yeah. They're all toxic towards each other, is
Mm-hmm.
basically it.
I'm using
They
you,
all
so
have toxic personalities.
I find you to be the most beautiful person I've ever seen. You stink.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm using you for your motorcycle. Good lord. I
Well, it wasn't the motorcycle she was using him for. She was using him for the adrenaline rush.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, even looking at that, like people were always like Team Edward, Team Jacob. I'm sorry, but Bella never really had a place for Jacob at all. Like she just used him for his motorcycle, his adrenaline rushes and whatnot. She was
It
never
was also emotional crutch because,
yeah,
he was there. He was family friend, so
a freaking thing,
he was
man.
already friend zoned before, all that stuff even hit
Yeah,
the fan.
yeah. He didn't stand a chance, and then everyone's like, "I wanted Jacob," and like, well, tough kitty poo.
Yeah.
And then that whole thing about freaking him running off, Edward running off, and then Bella turning into a complete wreck just because he was
Yeah.
gone. I'm like, come on, woman, stand on your own 2 feet. You got this.
Technically, it wasn't a wreck. She just,
Shut
she
down.
just, yeah, emotionally shut down.
Yeah, yeah. That whole story was just a dance. Ooh, I hit a
I mean,
lag
I
spike.
like some aspects of it. I like the fact that with the vampires, they have like their own abilities and stuff like that. I like the concept of
Mm-hmm.
the werewolves being like, ancient protectors, Native
Mm-hmm.
American kind of tie-in was really like a good icing on the cake. But sparkling and stuff like that was, yeah.
Yeah, I did kind of like those aspects of the story too. Were pretty cool.
Well, I also like the whole like their bodies are like the vampires' bodies are like marble-like, so it's
Mm-hmm.
like when you're destroying them, they're like breaking them like stone.
Yeah,
That was kind of cool. Give them kind of like a gargoyle kind of setup.
yeah. That was kind of an interesting little thing.
Yeah. Let's see. I got my last anime one, and this one's got a bunch of divisive people for it, anyways, with the fan base, and it's gonna be the whole Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke
Oh yeah, man. I tell you what,
triangle.
I was all for Naruto and Nata, man.
And Hinata?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually glad for that one. A lot of people were upset about it because it's just like she's so like
Timid.
bland, and they're like, no, she
She
kind
ain't
of had her
bland.
own.
Yeah, man. She
I
was.
mean, did you not see that fight that she had?
She. I will give you that she was timid. She was definitely
Yeah,
a bit timid, but like she was not bland in the slightest.
yeah. It's just like that series is all about character growth, and she had pretty solid growth.
Yeah, I love that about that show too. Was you know seeing true character development in a show, especially a
Yeah,
show meant for kids. It was just
yeah.
beautiful.
The only problem with it is so much filler.
Hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah. Apparently, there wasn't nearly as many in the actual manga. Manga.
No.
It was
Well,
all
of
just.
course. The reason why filler exists is mainly in anime because the manga's not putting out any more content and they blast it through the current content.
Yep.
That's why Frieza's fight with Goku took forever.
Find out next time on No, I want to find out today.
Yeah, pretty much. Uh,
Oh,
I'm actually glad that they ended up the way they did with like who they ended up with though, because
mm-hmm.
that would have been eh,
Mm-hmm.
to me.
I haven't seen the Boruto stuff. I still need to watch all that.
I haven't watched any of it either. I'm on the fence if I'm actually going to watch it because I slogged through pretty much all of Shippuden and even the filler, which like I did I did skip some of the filler portions. I just got tired of it.
Oh
It was
yeah,
just like I want to get to the next portion. You're mid combat and now you're throwing me into this crap.
I do hate it when they do that. Bleach was terrible about doing stuff like that.
Yeah, Bleach. Bleach is coming back.
Yeah, sweet.
And speaking of Bleach, we there is a triangle that I was like just thought of, and that's the
Yep,
Rukia, Orihime, and Ichigo.
yep. Although I kind of wonder about like, cause I always thought Rukia would be better off with
Yeah, that guy gave me a huge gripe. Her and Renji getting together at the end, I was like, what? And then I saw the Orihime and Ichigo, and I was like, what? No, 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 no. You fail. They built up all the camaraderie between Rukia and Ichigo, and then they go their separate ways? No, that's not how it usually goes. Usually you build up that friendship because that's how they end up together.
does this
I
count?
don't know.
Because I was thinking about it. Because I don't think I'm thinking about it, but I don't think there was actually any actual real love between the three of them. But Ron, Hermione,
Well,
and Lightning Bolt kid,
Harry,
yeah, Harry.
Harry. Um,
Does that count? Because I know for like the longest time I was pulling for Harry and Hermione, and then
I
Ron.
don't think so. I don't think that would count.
I don't feel like there was any actual like emotional love
Mm,
between the characters until like suddenly Ron and Hermione were married.
yeah. There,
Yeah, well,
there's nothing between Harry and Hermione, in my
yeah,
opinion, except for friendship. They're
yeah,
more like brother and sister.
gross.
There's mutual respect for each other's intelligence. That's about it.
Yeah, but toward the last part of the last book, last couple of books, when you started to see Ron and Hermione, you know, falling,
Yeah.
found out stuff. Yay.
There's another fan theory about that with Ginny and Harry, and that there's actually two fan theories. The first one is that Ginny's been steadily feeding Harry love potions. This is the reason why they ended up together at the end, which I did find it kind of weird that Ginny and Harry ended up together.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed kind of disjointed. And then the other fan theory was that Mama Weasley was the one that was not just feeding Harry love potion, but it was also feeding Hermione love potion as well
Uh-huh.
to ensure that her two kids were happily ever after.
Aw. I mean, I could see Mama Weasley doing something like that, being all sneaky with it. Like,
I don't know about that.
nah, probably not. But I was just thinking that would be
She's
funny.
protective of her kids, but I don't think she'd go that far for her kids.
Yeah. If anything, I think she would try to drive Harry and Ron apart so that he would stop trying to get him killed.
Yeah,
Um,
that is true.
reminds me, I saw something go by on Twitter today. I mean, it wasn't true or anything, but it was kind of hilarious. Um,
Uh-huh.
especially if you start reading the responses to it. There was
Uh-huh.
somebody who quote tweeted a fake J.K. Rowling tweet saying that J.K. Rowling confirmed that Ginny died fighting ISIS.
What?
Yeah, it was fake, but all the people in the comments below it were like, "Come on, stop rewriting your stories." And it's like, stop retconning things, lady. And I'm like,
Yeah, wow. Wow.
oy vey. She's built up a reputation for it, so they all bought it. But that was
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's also gullible people for you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the one last big one that I've got for movies would be Katniss, Gale, and Peeta.
Oh yeah, that one was like almost the definition of forced.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a sad one too at the end, from what I heard.
Yeah, Katniss didn't want anything. Like she didn't want romance from
Yeah,
anybody. She just wanted to live her life. And then they're like, okay,
she
we
just
want
wanted her
love.
family, and that was it.
Yeah.
She only did it at the beginning in order to get the sponsors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the freaking Peter romance was like, ugh. All
Yeah,
because of a loaf of bread. Now Peter, he was like, he had the hots for her. He would have taken her to Sheboygan, but you know,
yeah.
and honestly, wouldn't even doubt it um if Gail felt that way too. You know. It,
For me, I believe honestly that if Katniss had to honestly choose between the two and her own personality, she probably would have chose Gale,
yeah.
and probably wouldn't have batted an eye at Peeta.
No. I mean, they were two different people. Not
Yeah,
not
under
the
normal
obvious.
circumstances, yeah, Gale and Katniss had already clicked because they already knew each other.
Yeah.
So,
I
well,
mean, they worked together
and they,
on all that stuff.
yeah, and they knew what to do. Like one person did one part of the job, the other person took the other part. And it
Yeah.
was like not even a delegation. It just they
They
knew
knew
what
what they had
part
to
they
do.
needed to do.
Yeah. They knew their
So
role.
that relationship was already like smooth gears.
Hmm. Yeah. And the whole reason that she wanted to just swear off the whole idea totally was because they kept using her relationship status as something important, like her and
Yeah,
PETA
it was
were
a symbol.
yeah, her and PETA were a symbol for going against the rules and wanting to both survive, and then her and Gail were the symbol for the liberation. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
and she's like, I just want to live my life. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I just want my family. Go away.
Oh God, I felt like that. Freaking. Oh. You read the books, right? You read all the books, right?
No, I only seen the movies. I've gotten part of the way through the first book. I'm going to eventually finish them. I just haven't gotten to them.
I actually just straight up skipped the last movie because I didn't want to see it again. Oh, her sister
I think
thing.
they changed it
Yeah,
in a way where it's not as drastic of an ending.
yeah. It was just felt so forced and unnecessary, and I was just pissed off after reading it. It's like, why? Everything's settled now. Why are you doing this? She didn't deserve it. She was just a little nurse. Now you're gonna go and be a jerk and run up and punch freaking bad people.
Yeah, I had this similar reaction to the Harry Potter series when Sirius got killed.
Yeah. Oh my god. I didn't believe it because I mean, for one thing, it was horribly written, and for another thing,
Yeah,
it's like it was so sudden. It's like what?
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if you like if you were just scanning the paragraph, you would have missed it entirely, and then be like, what happened?
I remember my exact response was I snapped the book shut and I immediately cocked my arm back and I was ready to fling it across the room as hard as I could. And it was a hardback book, expensive copy,
Hmm.
and then I the only thing that stopped me from chucking it was remembering that it wasn't my book.
You're like, I'll turn it. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So I was like, I'm just gonna put it down. I'm not gonna read for a little bit until I calm down, and then I'll get back to it. And then they did it to me again when she killed off Remus and Tonks.
Oh my god. And friggin' wasn't what? Which one was it? But one of the like big name characters that you've come to love was literally just reduced to, and there's his corpse on the ground. And I'm like, you are horrible at writing death scenes, lady.
I think that was Tonks and Lupin.
Yeah.
Either that or it was
Yeah, I'm
George.
thinking it was either Tonks or George that because I know it was like a big character and I love the character and I'm like, why you are terrible at writing
Well,
death scenes, lady.
she wrote the death scene for Tonks and Remus. They Harry sees their bodies holding hands in the where they had the infirmary, makeshift infirmary at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And then George's body was found in the rubble
So
at
yeah,
one
it was
point.
just like both all of them were just terribly
Yeah,
written.
it's out of nowhere. Their bodies just popped up. I was like,
And it's like I've written death scenes and they just tear me apart. writing
yeah.
writing the death of one of my characters is not like just oh and then they were dead. No.
Well, unfortunately for me, with my stories, a lot of my story content happens random. So it's like I could just be at work and then all of a sudden I get like an epiphany for my story, and it could be like a heart wrenching part, and I just have like a mini mental breakdown right there at work, and I'm like, I don't know if I can continue my shift
Yeah, I've been
right now.
there. I mean, I lost
I was just
Wind Dancer was one of my hardest characters to lose because she was just a little girl and she just
uh-huh.
wanted to play, and then she got sucked into this stupid war.
And then I had one where I was just taking a shower, and at one point I was just like, oh well, this character's got to die now, and it's pretty much just sat in the tub like all dejected, waiting like with the water just coming down, and like I don't want to do
Hmm.
anything right now.
Yeah,
The water was getting cold, and I didn't even want to get out. I was just like, it sucks.
yeah. The only time you make a death of a main character sudden is when it's something you're going to revisit in like a really meaningful way, or if it's to
Yeah,
demonstrate the power that an enemy actually has, rather than just a
yeah.
oh Sirius tripped and fell into the portal and died.
Well, he also got hit with the killing curse right beforehand,
Yeah,
so it's kind of like a
he didn't exactly
the
just trip and fall, but
it's like the rotting icing on the proverbial crap cake.
mm-hmm,
It's he's already dead, but you don't get to even bury him because his body gets lost in limbo.
mm-hmm. That's part of the reason why I was like, that's this didn't happen. He's not dead. She didn't linger on it. It's just like, oh, he's dead, and then we're done with it. Maybe it's a British thing, but no, it's definitely not a British thing. Because I've read some British authors who did much better at defining and describing death scenes, and I'm like, oh. I mean, as much as I
I
love the
still like
stories,
I like the Snape reveal twist ending
yeah,
for him. That
that was
was
pretty good.
nice.
I like that. I'm
That
not,
was ingenious.
yeah. I still feel like it was a little too like quick with the whole getting rid of Dumbledore, but the whole reveal and everything was pretty good.
I think they did okay with the Dumbledore removal. Like she tied that one up pretty decently. He was already dying, kind of thing.
Yeah, and we knew he was dying.
Now
We
the
had several.
weakness thing where
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, I had a moment of weakness, and then I used a cursed item, and that's why I'm dying," kind of thing. It was kind of
yeah,
I guess, heavy-fisted.
a little ham-handed.
Yeah, so I was like, but I can see the stretch of it because he's old. He's dealt with his own guilt for so long. He's had
Yeah,
to carry it that he has that moment of weakness. So I could forgive that.
yeah.
Some other things I can't, but I'll forgive that one.
Hmm.
All right. My last one is for a lesser known, I should say, I guess,
Ooh,
video.
game.
That would be Wesley, Buttercup, and Humperdinck.
That is not. Oh well, no. I think it's pretty well known at this point in time. but at least among our generation,
Yeah,
cannot.
I meant to say these current like youngsters
Oh my!
wouldn't catch that one unless their parents made them sit and watch it.
Like every good parent should.
Yeah. Of
Does he?
course, we're talking about that good old fairy tale.
Oh, the best. One of the best
Yeah,
romances ever. The
and it's
Princess
got the
Bride.
added bonus of Andre the Giant.
Hmm. And it was probably one of like his was probably one of my favorite characters in that movie too.
Andre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody want a peanut? Ah, but that
I
that
didn't know that he was French.
oh Andre
Yeah.
Andre didn't give it away.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of like the way that one ended up finally, even though the road
It
getting to
took a
the
little
end of that
while.
story. Yeah, the road getting to the end of that story was fraught with some misadventure, shall we say.
Yeah. Very solid pool of actors they had too.
Yeah, and you know, it's like even to this day, I recognize Cary Elwes whenever I see him, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
he did the he did the voice for the character in Bard's Tale too, or one, not two, and
Nice.
that was a great role too.
They need to have him in more like I think the what was it? I think his most recent one was him being in the Jigsaw's apprentice
I'm trying to remember if that was the last one
successor.
or if Psych was the last one, because I know he had a recurring role on Psych.
They need to they need to stop mixing him up with horror and give him more of a comedy as
Yeah, he
well. They need to even that out. He works well in horror, but I like his comedy
yeah.
chops.
I
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
yeah. Still one of my favorite comedies. One of my
I've
favorite Mel
got that on
Brooks.
DVD.
Yeah.
Fatales?
Yeah, man. Mel Brooks just has a freaking ticket to my funny
Gold
bone.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Before you do it, you must go through it, or else I blew
no ding ding before the wedding ring. Without the wedding ring.
it. Call the royal locksmith.
Uh,
Uh,
I mean, there's another. I mean, not really sure if that really counts as a love triangle, but Sheriff and Robin and Maid Marian.
yeah, Sheriff of Rottingham made Marion and Robin Hood. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, he wasn't really in love with her, but he just wanted the power
Yeah.
from marrying the.
You could turn it around and say that it's a love rhombus because of latrine.
Mm, of course, yeah. I'm thinking about the actual original ones. Um, latrine, not from Men in Tights, but from the actual Robin Hood story.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we never even talked about how Humperdinck finally got his end.
I forgot how he got his end. It's been a while since I watched that movie.
He lived.
Did he? He lived
Yep.
because the other guy, the six-fingered guy, died.
Yeah.
Inigo Montoya took him out and finally got his revenge.
Yep. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepared to die.
Yeah, but the way he did, the way he bested Humperdinck was simply, you know, we shall fight to the pain, and then he threatened him, and then he's like, "You don't even have the power to stand," and then he stood and lifted his sword, and he's like, "Drop your sword."
Oh yeah, he basically called his basically bluffed and Humperdinck folded.
I knew you were bluffing. I knew he was bluffing.
I know nothing.
Oh,
Oh man,
classic
I don't have
movie.
that one on DVD, sadly.
I have the book, the classic
Oh,
book that it was
I
based
didn't even
on.
know that there was a book. I might have to borrow that. I really wish he still had the Incarnations of Immortality though, because I would love to have read that book.
Yeah, I
Oh
still.
wait, we could do a triangle with that one.
Mm,
War, Gaia, and Satan.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
By the time Satan and Gaia get together, War had already been out of the picture for a while.
Mm-hmm. He had enough time to wait.
Well, he found his other love,
Yeah.
which was a facsimile brought to life.
Mm-hmm. Ay, ay,
I heard that the author, after those 7 books, had actually continued it with one more book,
Hmm.
which was God.
Well, I know they had the um. Shoot, what was the name
Oh
of
wait,
it?
I think I read the God book, didn't
Yeah,
I? Did you have that one?
yeah.
No, there was another one where there was a primitive deity where she was just represented like void or darkness,
Hmm.
and there was like a mini series with that one. It was something like that. I don't remember.
Under
I
a
have to look it up.
Velvet Cloak. I have never heard
Yeah,
of
there
that
we
one.
go. That's the one.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, she's like a deity. Her providence is pretty much just void or darkness.
Hmm. That's pretty cool.
Supposed to be worse off than Satan, I guess.
I might have to look that one up because I have not read that one. Well, I mean, I literally just looked it up. That's how I knew the name of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's all of our topics there. That's all of our
Oh yeah, I'm spent. There's no more.
sweet. And I still managed to contribute a little bit despite being wholly unprepared.
You didn't even have to put that in, and I'm pretty sure that you would have passed.
Yeah. All right, but that's gonna be it for our Babbling Beards podcast for the evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hopefully you'll be able to catch us next month. I know we've got a few more plans, videos in the making. Well, I mean, I know I
Yeah.
have one. Thank you for joining us for our escape pod too, because that there will be another one this next week. From this show that will be
Pretty much be having, because
yeah.
our babbling, we decided to cut those out, and instead of just throwing them away, we're gonna give them to you in a separate video,
Yeah, because
kind of tie you all over.
they're pretty fun, and
Yeah, and we
and
do get rambly, very very rambly.
and I'm also working on another I've got a problem video which will be good. This one based off of Raid Shadow Legends.
Interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, that's gonna be it for us for this month or this week. Thank you all so much for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, please come vote that like button for us. If you'd like to see more from us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you're more than welcome to leave a comment down in the comment section down below. And you have anything you'd like to say there, sir?
Don't forget to check up on the header for the links for both of our channels, so you can see our individual contents as well. I'm pretty sure those are set up.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and catch the various playlists that we have on our channels. Of course, Steps right now has a much more robust playlist than I do, but I will be getting there eventually. I actually will be finishing my second game this coming week, so look forward to it.
Getting there, gonna be so awesome. I don't.
Yeah, I've got a bunch down the pike. I will be constantly being able to, as long as I have electricity, internet, and working recording machinery and software, I will be making content and I will be putting it out. I've got more than enough titles to cover, so
Yep.
there you all go.
But anyway, thank you once again, and tune in next month for the next Babbling Beards. And until then,
Later.
good night.